Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Rupal, and in this video I am going to talk about React.js interview questions interviewers used to ask. I will explain all the questions thoroughly, so let's dive into the video. Let's move to our first question. What is JSX? So JSX is a powerful JavaScript syntax extension that revolutionizes the way we create user interfaces in React. JSX allows us to seamlessly blend HTML code with JavaScript, making UI development in React a breeze. Let's break it down with a simple example. Imagine rendering a div element with some text content inside. With JSX, it's easy as writing a div like this, as you can see in example. But how does JSX work behind the scenes? Well, React's compiler transforms JSX into plain JavaScript object, enabling dynamic UI rendering and seamless integration of JavaScript expression. It's like HTML on steroids, which is offering a familiarity of HTML with the power of JavaScript. Plus, JSX plays a crucial role in React's component-based architecture, facilitating the creation of interactive and reusable UI components. So, whether you are a beginner or a seasoned developer, mastering JSX is the key to unleashing the full potential of React. So let's move to the next question. What is virtual DOM? So imagine you are a chef preparing a meal. Before you serve it to your guest, you meticulously plan each step, ensuring everything is perfect. The virtual DOM in React works similarly. It's like a chef's blueprint for a dish. When you make changes to your UI in React, instead of directly updating the real DOM, React first updates a lightweight copy called the virtual DOM. Then it's compared the virtual DOM with the previous version to identify the exact changes made. Finally, React efficiently updates only the necessary parts of the real DOM to reflect these changes, just like a chef's tweaks only the element of the dish that need adjustment before serving. This process minimizes unnecessary re-renders and improves performance, ensuring a smooth and efficient user interface. Hope you understood it. Let's move to our next question. What are components in React? So, in React, let's say components are the building blocks used to create user interfaces. They encapsulate a piece of UI consisting of HTML-like element and associated logic, allowing allowing developers to reuse and compose them to construct complex UIs. Components can be either functional, defined as JavaScript functions, or class-based component that are like defined as ES6 classes, each with their own state, props, and lifecycle methods. Modular approach promotes code reusability, maintainability, and scalability in building modern web applications. So, what we understood is there are two types of components in React. That is, first is functional based component, and second is class based components. So, let's move to our next question. How do you create a React component? Well, to create a React component, you can use either a function or a class. A functional component in JavaScript is a component that returns JSX. So, which is a syntax extension that resembles HTML. For example, here we are having a my component function which is returning some HTML, which defines a simple functional component. On the other hand, a class-based component involves extending React.ly component and defining a render method that returns JSX. For example, here we have a class my component which extends react.component and returns some JSX. Functional components are more common with modern React due to the introduction of hooks, which allow for state and side effect management within functional components. Props can be passed to both types of components to make them dynamic and reusable. So let's move to our next question, state and props. So what are the difference between state and props? Well, in React, state and props are both used to manage data within component, but they serve different purposes and have distinct characteristics. Props, short for properties, which are used to pass data from a parent component to a child component, and they are immutable within the child component, meaning the child cannot modify them. This ensures a unidirectional data flow and allows for dynamic data to be rendered in the child component. State, on the other hand, is a local to the component and is used to manage data that can change over time within that component. Unlike props, state is mutable and can be updated using the setState method in class components or the useState hook in functional component, right? While props enable that components to communicate and share data, state allows component to manage their own internal data and re-render in response to changes. Okay, let's move to our next question. What are React lifecycle methods? React lifecycle methods are functions that get called at different stages of a component's existence, providing opportunities to execute code at specific points in a component's lifecycle. These methods are primarily used in class components and are divided into three main phases: mounting, updating, and unmounting. During the mounting phase, methods like component did mount are called after the component is inserted into the DOM, ideal for initializing data or setting up subscriptions. In the updating phase, methods such as should component update and component did update allow developers to optimize performance and react to props or state changes. Finally, in the unmounting phase, component will unmount is invoked just before the component is removed from the DOM, making it suitable for cleanup tasks like removing event listeners or canceling network requests. These lifecycle methods provide fine grained control over a component's behavior throughout its lifespan. So, I hope you understood. Let's move to our next question. What are hooks in React? Well, hooks in React are special functions that allow developers to use state and other React features in functional components, which were previously only possible in class components. Introduced in React 16.8, hooks provide a more direct API to manage component state, side effects, context, and more. The most commonly used hooks are useState for managing state, useEffect for handling side effects like data fetching or subscriptions, and useContext for accessing context values. Hooks simplify component logic by eliminating the need for class-based syntax and like life cycle methods, enabling cleaner and more reusable code. Additionally, hooks can be custom created to encapsulate and share logic across multiple components, further enhancing code modularity and maintainability. So let's move to our next question. What are some best practices for React development? So some best practices for React development includes keeping component small and functional and function specific, ensuring each component focuses on a single responsibility to enhance readability and maintainability. Reusing components, wherever possible, promotes code reusability and like reduces redundancy. Maintaining a cleaner and consistent state structure, ideally lifting states up to the nearest component and ancestor component, helps in managing state efficiently. Using prop types for type checking ensures that components receive the correct type of props, preventing bugs and improving code reliability. To optimize performance, leverage should component update in class component and React.memo in functional component to prevent unnecessary redunders. So enhancing the efficiency of the application. These practices collectively contribute to building scalable, maintainable, and high performance React application. If you enjoyed the content, please like, share, and comment to this video, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Bye.